Hey, what's going on YouTube? This is TLee, aka the RealRam. And in today's video, I'm going to give you just the facts on the international school at which my children attend and a little more information on the other schools here in the canton of Bern, Switzerland. Sorry about the lighting. It's a rainy day today and all week, so there's hardly any sun outside. So, upon our preparation to move here to Switzerland, I found out about all the schools that are here. So there's a French school, there's a British school, there's the local schools, and then there's the international school. So the British school only goes up to grade 6. And so since I have 2 older sons that are going to be past the 6th grade, we didn't choose that school. And as far as English speaking, we were limited to just the British school or the international school. While we didn't choose the French school, I really don't have a good reason as to why I didn't choose the French school other than the fact that my French wasn't up to par. So I did not want, and the children, they didn't know French at all. So I didn't want to bring them into a new environment in a language that they did not know, because the move itself is stressful. So I would rather they come to a school where they speak English and then have to make regular adaptations that they're already used to. The local schools are free for everyone, but they speak Swiss German. So again, there's this language barrier that I did not want to put the children through, and especially myself, because of course children can pick up on languages really fast. But the fact that Swiss German isn't going to do them or myself any good after we leave Bern, Switzerland, I didn't want to make that choice. So that again leaves us to the British school or the international school. When we got here, David was in the 7th grade and Alex was in the 5th. So again, like I say, 6th grade is as high as the British school goes. So that was out of the question. As well as whatever children were at the embassy, I wanted them to be able to have some kind of already ingrained friends. So we went with the international school. The international school here, the curriculum is IB, which is International Baccalaureate. They teach off of an interdisciplinary method, which means that they interconnect every subject together. So every subject is not separated, and they're not just trying to move the child into college or to the end of the year test like we do in the US. So for instance, English isn't just English, whatever, talking about grammar, talking about the sentence structure, how to write a paper, and then you have math, where all year, all semester, you're talking about algebra, and then in science, you have chemistry for one whole semester. It's not like that here. Everything is I don't know exactly, so I'm just gonna make it up. This isn't gonna be completely factual, but I'm just gonna say, like, let's just say for 2 weeks. For 2 weeks in math, they can be talking about algebra, and then in English, they can be talking about, the structuring of a sentence, and then in science, they can be talking about climate change. And the child has to figure out, if there is a problem, how to connect those three subjects together to solve a problem. Now, the teachers as well are talking amongst each other so that their lessons will make that easier for the child, but it is up to them to figure it out. So basically how we say, let's say at the end of the year, the child has to create some type of levy. They create a levy because they're trying to solve a problem on gardening. They need to be able to take what they learned about weather, about how atmospheres and societies work together, what they learned in math and measurements of things and design class, properly measure things, and then put all of that together and create this levee or ecosystem. That's particularly in middle school, but it starts in the elementary levels. So let's go to Kamau. Kamau was in kindergarten last year, and I created a video, if you would like to go back and look at that, where he learned multiple languages for one particular unit. He learned how to say hello in multiple languages. But in the U.S., in kindergarten, our children have to know 100 sight words and their colors and shapes and certain things like that. But the main thing is that they have to have 100 sight words before they finish kindergarten. Not here. So it's like, how do you measure? So the specific question that I was asked is, how do you know that you picked the right school? It's the same thing just as in the U.S. You have your certain questions that you're looking for. So with Kamau, he didn't have homework. Well, none of the children have homework. But he didn't have sight words. He didn't have all these things that I was expecting to have. No. But even at the kindergarten level, they don't call it interdisciplinary. They call it how we fit into the world. So right now in first grade, he's already doing place values in math. And I can't remember if that's something that in the U.S. we do in first grade. I believe that's more like a third grade subject. So he's doing like ones, tens, and hundreds place. He's doing counting by fives, counting by tens. He's learning to tell time on a clock. And some of that he learned last year in kindergarten. But currently, I know this is what he's doing right now. They do not focus on cursive writing. He's learned a lot about insects and animals and how they fit into their environment and how humans interact with their environment. So yeah. And the fact that David is now in the 10th grade, he is still in the MYP, which is the middle years program. But in the 11th and 12th grade, they have something called DP, the diploma program, and the curriculum slightly changes. And basically throughout the whole IB, they're trying to train them to be self-responsible, self-reliant, practice good time management, and not rely on adults. So there was just a briefing the other week where they told the difference between MYP and DP. So everything that they've learned up until the 11th grade now comes into play. So their classes are now more focused. It's kind of like getting them ready for college is the way we Americans would understand it. So when they get in the 11th grade, they should be able to sit in the class, absorb the material that the teacher is explaining to them, and then they should be able to go write a paper. Write a paper and do what they call personal projects, which is kind of exactly like what I just said to you, but on a bigger scale. And they have to write, I think they said like a 4,000 page paper or something like that, and knowing exactly how to write it. So it's not as much guidance from the teachers, but if they need help, they better come to the teacher and ask for help. The teachers are not gonna come to them and ask, are you doing okay? Do you need help? Let me see your rough draft. Like, that's not gonna happen once they reach 11th grade. And they are taking some type of measurement tests along the way, but since I only have a 10th grader, so I don't know exactly. As far as the local schools, as I said, are free, but the children go off onto a track. They don't here in Switzerland raise the children for college. They train them up for the real world. So around about the 8th grade, the children are then deciding which path do they want to take when they get ready to graduate. So the children will either, after finishing the 9th grade, the children then have to apply for an apprenticeship, or they take the route of going to, it's called gymnasium, which is kind of like college, entry-level college. Or if their grades aren't high enough, they continue on in regular school, but it's not free anymore. It's now a private school. So by the time that your child is, if they go the apprenticeship route, by the time, they're an 11th grader, about 16, 17 years old, they're already working into this field that they have chosen for themselves. So they're way ahead of the game. If they're going to be a carpenter, they've been doing this carpentry ever since they were in 10th grade. So then gymnasium, that's them going down the line of college. So the children here are further along than we are in America. So those are the basics of the education here. If you have any more questions, please comment below and I can go more into depth. And subscribe, hit the notifications button.